They say that parting is such sweet sorrow. Some English bard said that in the 16th century. But today, the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico have something at stake as they fight for third overall standing in the 2011 FIBA Americas Championships alongside Gail Goodrich. This is Alvaro Martin. This is the first of two games. Brazil and Argentina will go for first place after this game. But this is an important game strictly because in the last chance qualifying tournament to be held next July, the winner here will then be the group leader in one of the four groups playing there. As we take a look at the qualified nations so far, Australia beat New Zealand. They're in. Tunisia won Afrique basket. Great Britain is the host. USA is the world champs. And now we have two American teams with a couple of European teams to be decided in a 24-team field. So we meet again if you are Puerto Rico and the Dominican. They played earlier in a fantastic game, and which Puerto Rico ended up winning handily. As we look at Jose Barrera, a game that Puerto Rico won by 17 points, 79-62. We had questions as to who would show up today, how many people would play, Gail, but I think with the exception of Charlie Villanueva, whose left ankle injury still hurts, Puerto Rico will play with its full contingent. Alejandro Carmona is not expected to play today as he did not play yesterday. It is unclear as to the reasons why. There are a lot of rumors circulating about him, but he will not play today. And for the Dominican Republic, you already have Charlie Villanueva out, and of course their backup point guard, Edgar Sosa, will be out again for coach. Flor Melendez, this is the group they call the Magnificent 12. They're not the 12 that they wanted to bring to Argentina, but it's a group that overachieved and lost by 2 last night in probably the best game of the tournament against Argentina. Yeah, they really did. It was unfortunate they came so close in a terrific ball game, which Argentina won 81-79. It really came down to the last shot, which Puerto Rico missed. So it's a tough loss. They got to now bounce back, and as you said, third place is at stake. And as I've always said, if they're going to keep score, you might as well win. So I think both teams are going to play very, very hard here. And like you said, these teams played last week in the quarterfinals, in which Puerto Rico easily handled the Dominican Republic. But that's history, and we'll see what happens tonight. John Calipari's team, again, is missing number 4, Edgar Sosa, the backup point guard, with a tibia fracture that went right through the skin in his right leg. And again, Charlie Villanueva, number 5, will be out. Charlie was recovering throughout this entire tournament of a left ankle injury. He is out of shape, has been hurting, and it's shown in this tournament. Although he played his best game in the tournament last night, he'll be off today. Now, we look to center court for the presentation of the flags of both Caribbean nations and the interpretation of the national anthems, starting with the one from Puerto Rico, La Borinqueña. And now the national anthem of the Dominican Republic, known as Quisqueyanos Valientes, Brave Quisqueyans. They meet again, Dominicans and Puerto Ricans, neighbors, rivals, and now third place at stake again. Winning this game represents being the group leader at the repechage, at that last chance qualifying tournament to be held in July. Puerto Rico offered a bid, so did Turkey. Remember, Turkey was the host of the 2010 FIBA World Championships, and apparently also did Russia. And there's word that even Venezuela put in a bid. As we take a look at, finally, in the center, the best Argentine referee for the last decade, Pablo Esteves, Cristiano Maranhão on the right from Brazil, and Roberto Oliveros from Venezuela on the left. Year after year in the Argentine League, they select the best referee, and they just about have retired the award. Esteves wins it every year. He's an excellent referee. And again, I mentioned to you yesterday, when you get the best teams in the finals and you have that rule that you need neutral country referees, you tend to get referee crews that at least have never worked with each other.
Yeah, and that becomes a problem, but certainly you understand why an official cannot referee a game in which their country is playing in it. So anyway, as we get ready for this ball game, we'll look at the starting lineup, and Daniel Santiago, number 15, is going to start. This is the same lineup that played and started last night, in which they lost by just 2 points to Argentina.
Remember, Santiago's recovering from a tear of the plantar fascia in his right foot.
Yeah, and he did not play the last time that these two met 4 days ago. So it'll be interesting to see how he can maybe slow down Al Horford or Jack Michael Martinez, the two bigs for Dominican Republic. You see number 10 and number 15 on your screen. This is also the same lineup that started for Dominican Republic last night when they lost a close ball game to Brazil, and actually that was 83-76, but the game was really closer than that, as Brazil was able to get a couple of baskets in the last minute.
John Calipari had his finest game coaching the team last night. They knew that they matched up well with Brazil inside. They just about had Horford or Martinez touch the ball on every possession. They wore out a trio of solid to great centers that Brazil has, and they came close to winning that game before falling. Let's see, they probably will try the same thing against the Puerto Rico team that does not have depth. They only brought 2 true centers to this competition, and one of them is hobbled. You wonder how much time Santiago will give them. He may have given them more minutes yesterday than the ones that he ended up giving them, but he ended up in foul trouble, which is another sign that he didn't have quite the mobility, the usual mobility he had. But Santiago's presence on the court for Puerto Rico was critical in staying in the game and then getting ahead of Argentina in last night's game.
Well, absolutely. He played 17 minutes, almost 18, had 16 points and 3 rebounds. So, he obviously made a great contribution. There's Al Horford, who's been one of the real stars in this tournament. And, Dominican Republic, I look for them, again, to go into Al Horford, see him also come to the foul line, give him the ball, spread the court, and let him go one-on-one against Santiago. Martinez has just been terrific on the boards, down low in the post area. Francisco Garcia, who played a terrific, I thought, defensive game against Brazil's Huertas, will be on the court. He has been real suspect. He finally had an excellent ball game last night. Now, the last time they met, he was 0 for 7 from three-point range. He is the one player for Dominican Republic who can shoot the three. He's been inconsistent in this tournament, but he's a very, very good outside shooter and a fine player. And so for Dominican Republic is hoping to unleash him. Now the two guards, Flores will start at the point, and he's going to have to pick up either JJ or Arroyo.
Puerto Rico wins the tip. Dressed in blue against the Dominicans in white. Remember, that backcourt violation. Barea went through, brought the ball back. The question for Barea is, did I make it fully through? And I think Barea may have a point. Well, the backcourt violation means you have to go fully past the half-court line and then back up. And Barea is trying to explain it to Esteves, and Esteves will not brook any discussion.
Well, right away, Barea, who really complained all night about the officials last night, and he hasn't he obviously, a good night's sleep has not changed his viewpoint of the officials.
Boy, are they booing him mercilessly, whistling him here in Argentina. Horford against Ricky Sanchez. No good. Rebounded by Barea. Here comes Puerto Rico. And you can see by their defensive stance in that first Dominican possession, Puerto Rico is not playing with the same intensity as last night. Sanchez misses.
And that's his shot from the outside. A good three-point shooter. 6'11", but goes outside. It plays much like a small forward.
Here's Jack Michael Martinez from way behind the free throw line, and he scores the first point of the game. The Dominican is up by 2. Are you expecting a high-scoring game?
I don't know. I just don't know. I hate to speculate.
Let's see. Santiago trying to get post position against Jack Michael.
Now, this is going to be interesting. He's going to try to back him in a little hook shot, and they're going to call
travel.
Oh, they called a travel.
3 steps, says Esteves. 2 turnovers quickly for Puerto Rico. And here comes Luis Flores, manning the point guard as he did throughout the 2009 World Qualifying Tournament of the Americas.
They're going right back into Horford.
Turnaround shot, right-handed shot. It's good. And again, the defensive stance by Sanchez is not as intense as it was last night.
Well, there was really no contact whatsoever. Horford, you give him a little space like that, and he's going to shoot that little hook shot, right-handed hook shot over the left shoulder. And
over dribbling, back to Sanchez. Inside to Santiago, turnaround shot, no good. Rebounded by Sanchez, short, unbelievable. He had an open shot. He short-handed that shot. Here comes Flores. Wow, a 3 by Jack Michael. Wow. That was, I think, in the Calipari playbook. Inside to Santiago. Turns left. Short. Rebounded by Santiago, the tallest player in the tournament. And Horford picks it up for the Dominican. Up 4-0. Down to Jack Michael. Slapped by Sanchez. Saved by Sanchez. Here comes Arroyo. Up and down game. Over to Barea.
He waits to get the pick and roll.
Physical play. Here comes Barea, and he's stripped but also fouled by Ellis Baez. I believe it should be Baez's first. That's true, says Mourinho.
We're going to take a look here. There's the bump. Yeah, he gets stripped, but there was a foul there on, I believe it was Flores with the body.
Barea argued again. And you know, I have a feeling, Gail, even though there is something at stake here, that we may see technicals today in this game.
Well, it started out that way, where both teams really complaining a little bit, but particularly JJ.
Offensive foul, Flores trying to get Barea's defense away from him.
Yeah,
he shoved him.
And right away, I think that if you look at Puerto Rico, they as well as Dominican Republic, they both look a little sloppy here in the early going.
3-point lead for the Dominican, 2.5 minutes into the game. Nobody's cutting. Galindo grabs it.
Good switch out that time by Flores. They're going, nice play. Sanchez breaking to the foul line.
Yep.
Good look by Santiago.
And Puerto Rico has its first basket. It's a 1-point game. Garcia. It is good. A tough shot. A 3-pointer by Francisco Garcia.
And that's his game. We know he likes to do that catch and shoot.
Garcia is a 33% 3-point shooter, well below what he usually shoots in FIBA tournaments.
Right now, just too much dribbling right now. He's got a little mismatch, but that's a tough running
Puts
one
it up
under.
Against the backboard, it's good.
You know, he made it, but that's a tough way to go to set the trend for all evening.
And it lulls the other 4 players on the court, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the other 4 players become spectators. And, you know, if you look around the arena, we got a lot of spectators. You don't need 4 more.
Wearing the same uniform.
Yes.
Horford against Sanchez. Goes left, he'll turn right. Nope, he'll fade away right. Yep. Against the backboard, it's in. A little variation for Horford, trying to create something going to his left.
Well, he's such a fine player, and if he gets that move down, with his ability to go right, he's going to really be unstoppable.
Outside to Sanchez, over to Barea. 11 on the shot clock.
11 seconds, and now he's going to go one-on-one.
Fade away, in and out, rebounded by Horford.
Tough shot, falling away, trying shoot over the 6'11" Horford. And
nice
look at Martinez.
pass inside to Martinez by Garcia.
They're running the floor. You got to get back against the Dominican Republic.
It's a 6-point game. The Dominican ahead as Horford has 4 points and 3 rebounds. Offensive foul by Barea.
No, I think they called it on
Ricky?
On Sanchez, I think.
Let's see. Not yet. Here comes Garcia.
Yep. He's now got the match he wants, but you got to guard.
Oh, look at that. Unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely no one picks up Martinez, who gets us the ball at the foul line and just waltzes in
Puerto Rico
for an easy 2.
Wanted to be known as a defense-first team. A little wrestling going on underneath, and I think Jack Michael Martinez with the charge with a foul. As we see Flor Melendez, 70 years old, back again after 12 years as the national team head coach.
We're going to see here that, there's a hold. He holds Santiago as he's trying to roll to the basket.
Arroyo, nice shot. That's his specialty.
Yeah, going to his right to catch and shoot.
And again, Barea held the ball, delay of game warning. As for Melendez, I'm not sure what he's talking about and what he's arguing about at this point. I'm not certain. Giving Oliveros a little jaw syrup. Here comes Flores. Nice three-pointer in rhythm by Luis Flores, and no opposition.
Yeah, there's just no pressure. We saw last night how Puerto Rico can really pressure the ball, but they're not doing anything defensively right now.
Galindo drives left. Ooh, nice block by Baez. Had him measured like a tailor.
He sure did. Galindo had a half step on him, but Baez recovered. We're going to see he's ahead of him, but he shoots the ball out and over his shoulder. Baez comes in from the other side and knocks it away.
He's so efficient in his movements. I mean, Baez. Here comes Santiago. Outside to Barea for 3. No good. Rebounded by Sanchez. Outside. Back to Arroyo with a new possession. Nice high pick. Arroyo stops, pops, shoots, and scores.
Yeah, went right at Garcia that time with a little stutter step, and then to get open, crossing over to the left hand.
It's a 7-point game. Garcia loses the handle. The ball's loose. Flores comes up with it. Baez. Back to Flores. 11 seconds on the shot clock.
And they miss Francisco
in the corner.
Garcia's
they got there late,
wide open.
and he makes them pay. Barea just got there late.
He got there late. I mean, he was there for 5 seconds all by himself. They finally got the ball to him. And once again, you got to close out on him. He's not going to drive too often. If he does, he's going to go with his right hand. But you got to close out because that's what he likes, that three-point shot.
Arroyo, tough shot.
Yeah, tough
Hits
shot.
The rim. Rebounded by Horford. Long pass ahead to Garcia. Against Barea, he lays it in. I have to say, they're not getting back on defense. They're not closing on three-point shooters. They're fighting screens with a minimum of effort, and there's no wonder why they're down 12, 21-9.
Yeah, they have not come out with any kind of intensity that they did last night against Argentina, and in effect, they're sort of going through the motions.
I have to say, Gail Goodrich, that we look at the Puerto Rico timeout. I'm not a head coach. I'm far from it. I'm just an observer who likes basketball. But this is the kind of moment that I feel, hey, if the Stars don't give me anything, I'll bring in the reserves.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Right now, the Stars are not playing with any kind of passion or intensity. Here you look at Arroyo taking a very tough shot going left. As we saw, he's hit a couple going right. And that's his bread and butter. And then no one gets back. this is a tough game to play for third place after losing both teams, of course, losing last night. It is a tough game in terms of, okay, what's really at stake. But, a number one seed in one of the groups in the qualifying tournament next July is at stake. And if you're going to have the number one seed in that tournament, you probably have a little bit better chance of getting to London than if you don't. So there is something at stake here.
Over to Jack Michael Martinez. Drives the baseline. Here comes Santiago. Slaps the ball. It's loose, and Ricky Sanchez comes up with it. Turnover by the Dominican. 12-point Dominican Republic lead. Galindo for three. It's good.
Yeah, early offense, getting the ball to Galindo, who also likes to catch and shoot behind the arc.
A 35% three-point shooter in this tournament. Arroyo guarding Garcia. And they're grabbing and holding, and now he cuts without the ball, and he lays it in.
Oh.
But he misses.
Wow, you got to convert that. It's wide open.
Barea dribbling. Finally a pass to Galindo. Long three with 15 seconds in the possession. Wow. Little playground coming out here. Here comes Flores.
Very definitely.
Horford squares up and makes the basket.
And Puerto Rico is just not getting to the shooters quick enough. These shots are they're uncontested. There's absolutely no pressure whatsoever.
Comes a screen by Sanchez. Barea will not utilize it. In and out. And another three chucked and missed. It's the fourth with only one make by Puerto Rico.
And right now, for Puerto Rico, everything is coming from the outside.
Garcia cuts, shots, misses. Galindo rebounds. As we see Sanchez pick up the dribble. An 11-point game, minute and a half to go in the first. Barea, free throw line shot. No good, way off. Up ahead. Horford stops, fakes, up. And he can't make the shot, but there's a foul. Let's see if it's Perez. Yes, indeed. Holding. Two shots.
We're going to take a look as Horford really sort of leaves early on the break, gets out in front. The head fake.
Well, guess what? Mass substitutions. 5 for 5.
Yeah, I think Melendez has seen enough from the group that was out there. If they don't want to play,
bring on the reserves.
He'll set them down.
And these guys, these reserves, when they were scrimmaging with the 5 starters from Puerto Rico, regularly beat them in practice. They were keeping score.
Well, you got Rodriguez out there, number 10, Mojica, number 4. Those are two guys who are going to play hard and give you 100% every night. You got Bachman, who likes to run and mix it up.
And rebound.
And
get in trouble with his coach.
You got Holland out there, number 6, who is a young player, and he's athletic and
good defender.
And trying to.
He's a good one-on-one defender.
Well, he's trying to make a statement. He's got a future here with this team.
He'll be playing in France next year professionally for the first time.
And you got Narvaez, who has played well when he had the opportunity, stepped in for Santiago, and so these guys want to play.
Rodriguez misses a 3, and the ball comes off the fingertips of Orlando Sanchez within the game. Ronald Ramon also in for the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like right now for Puerto Rico is that everything is coming from the outside. The last 4 or 5 times down the court, and if you got to count on that as a steady diet, if you're hitting the baskets and shooting well, that's all well and good. But a lot of times you're not. There's the double team right there,
and he comes. Yeah. Oh, and blocked by Horford.
Yep.
Rodriguez had no option. He had to shoot. The clock was winding down.
Well, he got in there and he just lost his dribble. He had nowhere to go among the trees, and if you're going to go in there, you can't.
You have to have a map to get out.
Well, you can't stop your dribble. You got to maintain that dribble.
As Baez makes another 3, the Dominican has now made 4 of 5 threes, and they take a 15-point lead with 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. Just a romp. Mojica drives outside to Holland.
This is not the same Puerto Rico team that won by 17 the last time these two met.
Bachman has to shoot. He draws from rim. That's progress. And here comes Horford with the rebound. Ramon to Flores, and they just were unaware of the shot clock. Neither backup point guard Ronald Ramon nor starting point guard and normally shooting guard Luis Flores was aware of how much time was left, and they couldn't get the shot off. But the Dominican Republic beats Puerto Rico by 15 with third place at stake. That gives them group leadership in the repechage, the last chance qualifying tournament next July.
Let's look at some stats. First of all, Puerto Rico is shooting 27%, and that's not going to cut it. They only scored 12 points. Dominican Republic, 70% for twos, 80% for threes. They lead in rebounds, 7 assists, only 2 for Puerto Rico. It's all Dominican Republic here in the first quarter.
I don't know. Obviously, they suffered an emotional loss last night. I mean, Puerto Rico. That game they could have won in the last shot.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question, but so did Dominican Republic. So, they're both teams are disappointed, and you would hope that they would gather themselves together. Because, Dominican Republic, they were right there with Brazil until the last minute of the ball game. Brazil made a couple of shots there and got the 7-point victory. But I thought the Dominican Republic played very, very well last night, as did Puerto Rico. But tonight, Puerto Rico just not come to play as of yet.
I have to say, I look at Flor Melendez as we look at the crowd here. Not nearly 8,500. It will be packed for the next game for sure. And I look at its coach that's already thinking how he's going to lambaste this team at halftime. Just what choice words he'll lay out in front of them to get them started here.
Well,
but by halftime, this game could be over if they keep it up.
Well, no question. And I guess one of the questions I'd have to the players, I feel like we're playing for pride here. I mean, that's what this is all about right now. And so, you want to go away from this tournament having played very well and really, made a statement for Puerto Rico basketball. You want to go away with this last game and just sort of fold your tent. You ask the players, hey, if you don't want to play, just tell me. And you can sit the second half.
Yeah, you can watch it.
There is just no intensity. Again, I think that, this is the 10th game in 12 nights, and certainly, but both teams. That's for both teams. So,
back into action. There's a foul, I think, by Rodriguez pushing. No, it's by Bachman pushing. He is guarding Horford, and Manuel Narvaez is guarding Jack Michael Martinez.
Well,
both matchups favor the Dominican right now.
Well, Bachman and Horford, of course, play against each other in the NBA, and I'm sure they've matched up in the past.
Nice pick by Horford. Ramon knows what to do with it.
Yeah, he comes off the screen. Bachman just doesn't do anything but stand there and watch. Doesn't contest the dribbler. Doesn't force him to swing wide. He just takes one dribble around the screen and then just takes a nice, easy 15-footer.
Holland, top of the key, guarded by Orlando Sanchez, plays for Monroe College, junior college in New York. Drives left, lays it in, rebounded by Martinez, almost stripped by Holland. Here comes Ramon. He had some ball handling mistakes at the end of the game that cost him, but the basket is good. And the foul. He'll go to the line.
Puerto Rico right now is playing at half speed.
Here comes Danny Santiago back in the game. As Ramon will go to the line.
Narvaez takes a seat.
An 82% free throw shooter in this tournament, Ramones. He plays for Limeiras in Brazil from the University of Pittsburgh. He's becoming one of the favorite destinations in the Big East for Dominican players.
Well, he had a nice ball game last night. He had 13 points in 22 minutes.
Mojica tries to get everything started. The point guard, Rodriguez, looks for to feed the post. Can't do that. It's overplayed. Now Santiago has a mismatch with Sanchez.
And Sanchez bodies up defensively.
And he loses the ball on the way in. Here comes Horford with the steal. Stolen by Rodriguez. And again, it's loose. And Sanchez cannot keep control of the ball. Andres Rodriguez, one of the top steals leader in the Spanish league. Very crafty player. Doesn't seem like much. Doesn't seem physically imposing. But very heady and very sharp with steals. No movement. Just passing at this point. Little screen here. And a foul underneath. I believe it's by Ramon on Mojica. And it is. It's Ronald Ramon's first foul. It is Dominican's second with 8:28 to go and a 20-point lead, giving Barea a headache. He's become a crowd favorite to boo as we see Bachmann lose the ball. Pick it up again. He didn't dribble. Holland misses, and the ball is in the hands of Francisco Santiago. Just unfocused. Jack Michael. No good. He's had 3 outside shots. He made 1, including a 3. He's only made 1 of them. Rodriguez picked up by Horford. Backs up. They want to feed Santiago and do. Now they clear him out. Slapped by Garcia. Held by Santiago. A foul. Santiago, Garcia, one of the steal leaders in the tournament.
We're going to take a look. There's the ball, and then he grabs Garcia. As Garcia made a nice defensive move that time, slapping the ball away. Good quick hands.
Garcia, one of the steals leader in the tournament. Sanchez picked up by Holland. You see Holland hustle on defense. He stands out. Arroyo trying to hustle as well.
Yeah, he's got quick feet. And
over to Garcia. Back out to the elbow. It's dangerous. It's good.
And Bachmann once again is guarding no one, just watching there as Horford gets the ball at the foul line, faces up, no pressure.
Rodriguez is hurt. He's limping into the Puerto Rican bench. And so we get a substitution. Barea's in, and he's become a favorite to boo here, to whistle at. J.J. Barea.
Garcia is on J.J. A big 6'7". Playing against the 5'11" Barea.
Here comes Santiago, and it's good. Right from the free throw line from the left elbow, and Puerto Rico knocks down the lead down to 20. 3 minutes into the second quarter. Sanchez usually plays the power forward position at Monroe College, a rebounding machine in that position. A little bit more intense. Puerto Rico's defensive posture. Over to Jack Michael. Another 3. Goodness. Is that in the playbook?
Well, Jack Michael has come out to practice his jump shot tonight. Let's just say that.
Santiago, free throw line. Nobody shows up, and he makes it. Chippies.
Yep. And Jack Michael is being caught down below. We take a look at Rodriguez, who's getting some treatment.
And John Calipari calls his first timeout. 6:40 to go in the first half. The Dominican is up by 18. It's been so far a walk in the park for the Quisqueyanos.
Well, Dominican Republic continues to shoot extremely well, shooting 70% overall. Absolutely no pressure whatsoever. Wide open jump shots, and if you give Dominican Republic some wide open jump shots, they're going to knock them down like most teams here at the tournament. They're all very good shooting teams, and that's one thing about FIBA basketball. That's one thing about international basketball. A lot of people ask me to make somewhat of a comparison between basketball internationally and basketball in the United States. One of my first comments is, well, in international basketball, they are all very good shooters. They've learned the game to shoot, and they are fundamental. But they all have a lot of good shooters. The other thing, of course, is the physical nature of the game. As we look here at the shooting percentages for both teams. Only 32% for Puerto Rico, only 20% for threes.
But that 4 of 6 for threes has been damning for Puerto Rico. Their ability to close out in three-point shooters. Brazil killed them that way. Argentina had some shots yesterday.
And we got a little press, a little activity here now for Puerto Rico. And look at Horford at 6'11".
Unbelievable. Held by Arroyo.
Break the press.
Just pulling his shirt, obviously, as we see the right ankle of Andres Rodriguez. He seems to be hurt, and he looks to be out.
Yeah, it looks like he turned an ankle.
That's not good. Plays for Obradoiro in Galicia in the ACB in Spain. Elbow shot, it's good. That's just a house specialty. That's the special of the day at Horford's restaurant.
He's got that shot down pretty well. He is an extremely fine player, and he plays his ball, of course, for the Atlanta Hawks.
And beyond the skills, he's such a leader. Well, every team would love to have him. Every coach would find that a dream.
Look at, oh my gosh.
Here comes Garcia with a fake against Angel Alamo. And Santiago blocks him. Garcia thinks that was a goaltend.
Well,
and Flores commits a foul.
Flores commits the foul to stop the action. Garcia wants the foul. He had a wide open shot, and it's
that is a foul. It's no block.
No, that's no block. That's a foul. He was right.
He was absolutely right.
But he had the wide open shot, and that shot he should have taken. There was no one within 10 feet of him. And then he went into traffic to challenge the big.
Here comes Alamo. Slapped and stolen by Garcia. Holland recovers. He almost gets tripped. Over to Holland. Launches the three with 5 seconds to go in the possession. And the rebound goes to Horford again.
Yeah, and here he comes down the break. Now pulls it back.
That is his 6th rebound. Here comes Garcia for three. It's good. Yeah. That's such an open three.
Well, he was a trailer that time in the early offense. And a good look by Horford. Once again, no one within 10 feet of Horford. And, you give him that kind of, a shooter that kind of time.
Foul on the Dominican.
I mean, he just lines it up and pulls the trigger.
It'll be on El Flaco Garcia. Galindo back in. Sanchez back in, hopefully with some perspective after sitting a long stretch on the bench. Jack Michael Martinez already has 6 points and 7 rebounds, but none on the offensive side.
Well, he's playing outside on the offense. He likes his jump shot tonight. He's not going in there and challenging for the offensive boards.
We have a foul.
And I think it's before the shot, so we'll take it out.
It will be on Ronald Ramon. There's Arroyo, the captain, has surprised observers. Arroyo always intense as a player, but in the huddles he's become a coach.
Well, he's an experienced player, and he's a leader on this team.
Back out to Barea. Nice fake. He drives, fakes, outside to Ricky Sanchez. Over the backboard. It'll be the Dominicans' ball. But at least they were playing some team basketball there.
Yeah, they made a couple passes. This is embarrassing, honestly.
It is. 23-point game.
Yeah, and we still got 4.5 minutes to go now. And this is the same team that beat the Dominican Republic four days ago by 17. They have just not come to play. It's as simple as that.
Garcia. Back out to Jack Michael. To Orlando Sanchez. 6 to shoot. Flores from the elbow. In and out. Rebounded by Barea. Up ahead to Galindo, who's running like a gazelle. And he's blocked by Sanchez. Wow.
Yeah, and I think that ball was hit the glass there.
Over to Baez, and he's fouled by Sanchez. Yep. Ricky Sanchez. Orlando Sanchez with a great effort just to catch up.
Yeah, we'll take, I think, another look at it, and we're going to take a look. But I think it hits the backboard first. It does. Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, that's a goaltend.
That is a goaltend.
So,
and Orlando Sanchez walks to the bench smiling. He knows he got away with one. Baez, who suffered a right thigh injury. You can see how he's wearing a little sleeve on that calf injury. Missed a couple of games. An excellent player, very efficient in his movements.
Well, he's a real nice defensive player. 6'6", he's active, he's athletic.
Strong, can't move him. Nice leaping ability, and again, no wasted motion with him. 4:15 to go, a 25-point difference.
Fortuna now playing in the guard position, trying to guard
Barea takes it all the way in with a nice seal by Danny Santiago.
Yeah, good seal, and Fortuna got mixed up with Martinez that time on the screen. Martinez
with the ball, cross court to Kelvin Peña as the Dominican brings out the bench. A shove by Flores on Barea. He drives in against Santiago. Santiago makes him shift the shot, and here comes
got numbers.
Barea. Over to Arroyo on the corner. It's good. A three-pointer by Puerto Rico, and John Calipari doesn't even want them to get in rhythm, so he calls a timeout. It is a 20-point game, 41-21. 3:37 to go in the first half.
There we see Coach Calipari sitting down, give it a little instruction.
And Orlando Antigua on a polo shirt on the right, a former University of Pittsburgh player of both Dominican and Puerto Rican parentage, is now an assistant coach of Calipari's at the University of Kentucky and one of the linchpins to get Calipari involved. You know, Puerto Rico was trying to court Rick Pitino as a head coach, and that eventually fizzled. Pitino never committed in terms of signing a contract. He said he would do it for free. And I always, when I read that, I said, well, if he's not committing to a contract, he's not committing fully. Sure enough, at some point he backed out. And then the Dominican announced that Calipari would be its head coach. And of course, everybody said, well, the Dominicans were, of course, imitating Puerto Rico. When the fact of the matter was, they've been courting Calipari for months, and he never said yes until the very end. Whether it was a matter of money or a change of heart, Calipari felt he could take this team to the Olympics.
There we could see the break there, the early offense, spotting up as Arroyo, the pass by JJ, and that's the first bit of life that we've really seen out of Puerto Rico right now. Then we look at the rebounds, 18-13 assists, 10-5, and Dominican Republic is just dominating this game. A little half-court trap here.
Loose ball picked up by Baez. Over to Flores.
And they have
corner to
zone,
Fortuna,
yep.
Along to from the lefty, and it's good. Manuel Fortuna with a nice open shot.
From Puerto Rico trying to go to a zone to give Dominican Republic a different look.
Barea with a crossover. Floater. It's in. That's the game he played in Dallas. Long pass to Kelvin El Pollito Peña.
Back to man-to-man, Puerto Rico.
Love those nicknames. El Pollito means the little chicken, the little hen. Martinez fakes, tries to drive, almost loses it. Drove again, down to Baez. Nice, savvy play by the veteran. Faked everybody out. 22-point lead for the Dominican.
We got a real mismatch there. Just
and that was just a pass that Santiago couldn't reach. He said, pass it to Galindo, and Galindo can post it to me.
Yeah, absolutely. You swing the ball to the weak side. Just a bad judgment play by JJ. Another turnover for Dominican Republic. That's number 5.
Barea has had a wonderful year in so many ways.
Well, he was terrific in the NBA playoffs for Dallas.
But he's having trouble here just finding a role and trying to fit into this team. Fortuna missed, wide shot. Here comes Baez, and it's good against Santiago. Santiago can only move so much with that right foot injury.
Yeah, and he has trouble moving laterally anyway. Baez just really too quick there as he got the ball, then a one dribble, and then quickly right up.
Hand off to Santiago, and it's good. Santiago barely moving, just extending his length, the tallest player in the tournament. 2 meters, 13, legit, as Martinez almost loses the handle. Over to Baez. We've seen this picture again.
Yep.
With the same ending.
Yeah, 2-on-1. the two bigs exchanging passes against Santiago. Santiago really caught flat-footed in both cases.
Arroyo. Bounce pass to Sanchez, can't find the handle, fakes the pass, throws up three. No good. Baez with the rebound. And they're whistling Barea mercilessly here in Mar del Plata, Argentina. They do not like J.J. Barea.
Well, you know, in Dallas, he played very, very well, particularly against my Lakers in the playoffs. And, you know, he's a role player.
As we see, Flores with a floater.
He's a role player, and, you know, that's the position he played there in Dallas. Of course, they got Nowitzki as the go-to guy
and great shooters around.
Yeah, and great right here, he's you know, him and Arroyo are the two guards. They're featured on the offense, and it's really tough for him. As we see Arroyo going strong with the right hand, right to the basket, lays it off the glass.
Remember, Puerto Rico is missing three starters. Center Peter John Ramos, who had a sports hernia. Shooting guard Danny Vasallo, A.D. Vasallo, who had a broken bone in his right hand. And Nathan Peavy, who had a knee operation, who would be the starting power forward. I think of the three, of course, they'd love to have a 7'3", 2'21" center who can score. That's Ramos. But I think of the three, they miss Vasallo the most. He would have been one of the top three-point shooters in the tournament, without a doubt.
Yeah, you look at this Puerto Rico team, and I don't think they're a particularly great outside shooting team. They have, again, they feature Arroyo and J.J. Barrera. They're the ones that really do most of the scoring. They look to score, and it's just real tough here to play at this level without having some kind of impact on the front line. You know, Santiago, before getting an injury here earlier, was playing pretty well. But, you know, even Santiago is not a...
he's a backup center at this point.
Yeah, he really is. You know, he's obviously he's 35 years old, and he's at the end of his career. He's had a nice career in Europe. This may be his last hurrah for the Puerto Rican national team.
He'll play for if Melendez is the coach, he'll be in the repechaje. As we see him show us that he's got a little something left. 3 seconds to go in the half. Flores handling the ball again for the second quarter in a row. Has no notion of time left. But it didn't matter, because the Dominican Republic right now is putting one big beatdown on Team Puerto Rico, 53-29, a 24-point lead at the half.
This is a real whipping. Well, Dominican Republic is doing everything right.
They're still at 70% from the field.
Well, yeah, they're shooting 70% because no one's guarding them. And, you know, Puerto Rico is doing everything wrong, basically.
A 7-rebound advantage, a 6. I mean, when did you see the Dominican have 13 assists in a game? Much less in the first half.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. In terms of assists, I think that is maybe what they average for the whole game. We see here Horford has an easy 11. Martinez has an easy 7 rebounds. Garcia has 4 assists. They are just dominating this game. And again, this game, it's not really that physical. See the scores now. Horford has 11, Garcia 11. Arroyo leads Puerto Rico with 9, and Santiago has 8. But it's it's not that physical compared to the games we saw last night. It's not as intense. It's in a way going through the motions.
As we see the highlights, mostly of the Dominican. Horford, turnaround shot, 11 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and a block, and a steal for Horford. Just another great half. As we see Barea, tough shot. Barea now missing 5 of 8 from the field. Horford, turnaround shot against the backboard. It's good. Flores with a long 3. It is good. Dominican from 3, 5 of 8. Another 3 by Garcia. Barea outside to Galindo. That's good, but Puerto Rico only made 2 of 9 threes in the first half. Even JJ's having trouble as he misses the shot. And the kid now, look at this, pulls down his pants and then knocks him out. Here comes Santiago. They had a couple of possessions back-to-back with Santiago making shots from the free throw line, but Horford kept shooting and making shots for the Dominican. Another three by Garcia. That was a wide open three. And then a lay-in as a great steal by Santiago let Barea in.
But, you know, Dominican Republic is not really putting a lot of pressure on Puerto Rico either. And now here's the pass, sharing the basketball. You shoot, no, you take it. You know, it's pretty simple basketball. You move yourself, you move with the ball. There we see Santiago with the roll to the basket and the two-handed dunk.
So Gail Goodrich, let's understand the repechage, what's known as the last chance Olympic qualifier. The reason why these teams are here at all, trying to win. The 2012 London Olympic game has now 6 teams qualified out of a total field of 12. Only 12 teams in the Olympics. The UK as host, the US as world champion, Tunisia as the African champion, Australia as the Oceania champion, Brazil and Argentina as the Americas champions. FIBA Europe will produce an additional 2 out of the 24-team field. And then we're waiting also to see the winner of FIBA Asia. Now, that will be 9 out of 12. There's 3 open shots at large. Those 3 spots will be decided in this last chance tournament to be held on July 2nd through the 8th in 2012. Now, 4 European runners-up. The 3 from the Americas will be the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and Venezuela. Venezuela will be 5th.
That's 7.
Then 2 runners-up from Asia.
It's 9.
2 from Africa. That's 11. And the losing team in Oceania, that's New Zealand, will be 12.
Right. And only 3 teams of those 12 will get a qualifying
before we get
to
there.
London.
Before we get there. The teams, those 12 teams in this last chance tournament will be spread in 4 groups of 3. And within those 3, they'll have a round robin. The top 2 teams in each group advance to what's known as the quarterfinal round.
Right.
And when that happens, they'll going to have to face 4 of these teams. You make your pick. These are the top European teams in the tournament going on in Lithuania right now.
Spain, I haven't seen some of these teams.
Spain, France, Serbia, Lithuania, Germany, Turkey, Greece, Russia. That's 8 teams. Only 2 of those will advance. 4 of the other 6 will be...
That sounds like it's pretty tough. A lot of competition there.
The bottom line is you were better off winning the slot here. It'll be harder probably to get that shot there because there will only be 3 spots given at that last chance tournament.
Yes, that is tough because those teams, as you talked about from Europe, are strong.
Very strong. And so
France is strong, Spain's strong, Greece is strong, Germany, they got Nowitzki, but they don't have, I don't think, a lot of depth there. So it's going to be tough.
So the question is, the Dominican Republic put in so much effort and treasury behind this effort here in Mar del Plata. They brought in John Calipari. They paid the insurance of 3 NBA players that probably, depending on your calculation, would be around, if not north of $500,000. They paid John Calipari and his staff to coach his team. They took him up to the University of Kentucky for a few weeks. Then they took him over to Brazil for the Tuto Marchand Cup as a warm-up. Well, the expense, the effort.
They've made an investment.
Oh, an investment because there's no way they will recoup that investment monetarily through this tournament, through rights issues or whatnot. That's just not going to happen. The question is, will they make that effort to the repechage? The question surrounding the Dominican Republic here in Mar del Plata is, will they even show up?
Oh, I think they've made that kind of investment. I would expect them definitely to show up. And, you know, look, they've gone out and, you know, they've gotten some American players. They've made a good showing, a lot of improvement. You know, this is not going to be overnight success. the way that a lot of people in the United States would say it would be success if right now the payback is right now with the Dominican Republic. I think this is a little bit longer-term payout. Remember, this is the first time this team has come together, and I would suspect, in fact, I'm talking with Coach Cal. He only had this team for maybe 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
But he's not committed for next July. He is not committed yet.
I suspect that I would hope he's committed because he's got an opportunity here, I think, to if they can keep this team together.
Exactly.
They will have an opportunity, I think, to really make a nice showing. Having come back next summer and having played one tournament and gotten some experience here with FIBA basketball, I'm sure Coach Cal is a little taken back by some of the things that happen out there on the court. And I think that it's a learning process for him as well. So I would hope that he would commit. And he's got a fine assistant in Del Harris there who's got a lot of FIBA experience. So I think they've laid the groundwork, and hopefully they will continue. And if they do with this team, and if they're able to add a couple more players, then they I think will make a nice showing come the qualifying tournament.
I agree, but on the other hand, I think that if getting them together for this tournament was expensive, it will be equally, if not more expensive, to take them, for example, to Turkey or Russia, and to prepare them by having a tour of Europe so they can prepare against European teams to get ready for that repechage. For that, that's going to be even more expensive. I'm telling you, I have my doubts. I agree with you that this is by far the best Dominican team I've ever seen play, not just from a standpoint of talent, but cohesiveness, that they have a chance, if they have some continuity, to get even better.
Well, basketball has become an expensive sport.
Exactly.
And again, I think that you have to look at the investment really in terms of dollars to try to promote the recognition, obviously, of the Dominican Republic, plus try to generate a lot of interest among the young players in the Dominican Republic and start to build with youth programs for the future.
And that is the question in front of the Federation, the head coach, John Calipari. I have to say, if there's one team that could have a chance to be better, would be the Dominican. The other one is the one we're looking at on the opposite side of the court today, who's not playing particularly well. As a matter of fact, they're playing very poorly. One thing about Puerto Rico that I noticed, they came out way early out of the dressing room, ready to shoot. I have a feeling that they've had a little talking to at this point. And the reason why Puerto Rico can get better is simply if they are able to get their players back. The complication for Puerto Rico is their league ends late. Their league ends in July. And if that's the case, if that league ends that late, they may not have time to get them all. The players may be injured again. The players may not play. It may be another version of what they have. But if they can put the whole team together with the same system, same coaching staff, I think Puerto Rico has a chance. And to boost their chances, the Federation head, Carlos Beltran, has decided now, Gail, to bid for the actual tournament, which you can do. You can participate in the tournament and host it, and Puerto Rico will make a strong bid.
Yeah, I suspect they will. We talked about the Dominican Republic. Another thing to remember is that, while they lost to Brazil last night and made a terrific showing, earlier in the tournament, they beat Brazil. That's a team that obviously I think has a future, and they're just a little bit away maybe. Brazil has an excellent team. We're going to see them in the second game. So they're not that far away from, I think, really competing, effectively here in international play.
If there's one thing that would make Coach Calipari more comfortable, it's a true point guard with quickness that he can relate to. That's what he likes to have at UK, at Memphis.
Well, he's had some really good ones,
right.
Starting with Rose and then Wall, then Brandon Knight this last year. And he's got another one, and I can't remember his name, but he's one of the top high school players in America who's going to now come in and take over the point position for UK. Or is it KU or UK?
Right. The one thing
Kentucky.
The one thing about Puerto Rico, they keep producing players, maybe not of the absolute quality of Barea, Arroyo, but they keep producing players, and you're seeing some of them here. You're seeing Angel Alamo play. You're seeing Alex Galindo play. Galindo may have not made this team if everybody showed up. John Holland probably wouldn't have made this team at all. Well, Javier Mojica would have never made this team.
Well, you look at this team, and you tell me that there's 3 players that have not.
And I didn't mention 2 others who are not starters, but would clearly be in the rotation.
Well, so hopefully next summer, those players, that'd be 5 players that will be able to join this team, and Puerto Rico then becomes really very competitive, and really we'll be able to maybe make a run here in the qualifying tournament. I mean, I think so far in this tournament they've played very, very well. I mean, last night they were within 2 points of beating Argentina, and very easily could have won that ball game.
Yes.
So, and Argentina, I think, is an exceptional team. I mean,
and
they may have some trouble playing against some of the bigger teams in Europe, just from a size standpoint. But in terms of a basketball team, Argentina doesn't have to take a back seat to anybody except maybe the U.S.
And you can't say that the game last night, Puerto Rico-Argentina, was a tight game because Argentina played poorly. No. They were extended by Puerto Rico.
Yes,
they were taken to the limit.
Yeah. Now, that's a different team that showed up here
in
the first half.
But it's an interesting point because there were 2 things that assistant coach Carlos Morales said that the coaching staff wanted to really stamp out of this team. Bad traits, bad habits that they've had for the last decade. Number 1, they beat Goliath one day, and then they can't beat their younger brother the next day.
Well,
the
they're
inconsistency between day to day. The second thing, which they did show last night, is they would come into a tight game in an adverse situation like here in Argentina, and normally they would crumble. Absolutely
not last night.
Not last night, but today, and against Brazil, they look like they're laying down. They look like they're not into it.
They're not into this game. There's no question. I don't know what was said in the locker room, but
they seem focused.
This game is about some pride, and they're right now they're down by 24. They've at least got to come out here in the second half, you would think, and make this somewhat competitive.
And while he's not a team captain, Danny Santiago is literally and figuratively the man they all look up to. And he spoke to them in the huddle. I think he spoke something along the lines of what you just mentioned. Now, for the Dominican Republic team, they have kept their rotations tight. They have their starters playing heavy minutes. And after that, 6 minutes here for Ronald Ramon, 5 minutes there for Orlando Sanchez, 4 minutes there for Manuel Fortuna and Kelvin Peña. Remember, if Kelvin Peña is out, Edgar Sosa is out. By the way, the Dominican may have Sosa back, God willing, by the time the repechage tournament starts in July.
Well, we all hope that it's true. He has suffered, as everyone knows, just a horrific injury, breaking his leg, and he's going to be in rehab for, they say, 6 months, and my guess is maybe longer, because that's he had just a terrible, terrible injury.
And to make it worse, Gail, he was wearing a sleeve which protected all of us from looking at the exposed bone through his skin, but he had pain in that area. In other words, the stress was beginning to break the bone, and then just landing did him in. As we start the second half, alongside Hall of Famer Gail Goodrich, this is Alvaro Martin. Puerto Rico playing the Dominican Republic again. They beat him by 17 the first time they met. Now they're down 24 at the start of the second half. Santiago against Jack Michael Martinez is being shoved. Misses. Rebounded by Horford.
Got to finish those shots right there at the rim.
Let's see how they guard. Flores.
High screen and roll.
Going left, passing right. Jack Michael steps over to Garcia. Picks Arroyo, loses the ball. Back over to Horford with a long three. I thought his foot was on the line. They're going to give him 3 points. And he's holding his lower back. He's grimacing. Here comes Barea. Turnaround. Slapped and fouled, I think, by Horford.
Yeah, I think so, too. And he knew it right away. He raises his hand as JJ goes to the line after the penetration and the spin move.
He's missed 1 of 2 so far.
How good is Horford? I mean, we've seen him do everything in this tournament. He offensively, he comes out and shoots shoots from the foul shot. That last time he come even farther out and shoots the 3. He goes down in post.
Can I tell you how good he is?
He is.
Can I tell you how?
Yeah, tell me.
In 2009, the team was just team turmoil in San Juan. There were many reasons to complain. As we see Flores shoot and make the three, top of the key, and again, it's been the venom of Puerto Rico, the open three. And he took it in. He did not complain. He did not rip the coach publicly. He had reasons to. The Federation head, he could have said any number of things. Their approach perhaps may have not been as serious as he had, and yet he played like a pro.
As we see JJ again penetrating. And here JJ gives Flores a lot of room, slow to get out on the shooter.
Marea back to the free throw line. He makes the shot.
And, I mean, defensively also in this tournament, I mean, Horford is blocked shots. He's got steals.
Leads the team in blocks. Leads the team. I'm sorry, Garcia leads the team in blocks.
Well, he leads it in assists.
Yeah, leads him in assists and steals. He's one of the team leaders in steals. Just a tremendous player. Here comes Martinez from the elbow. That's his shot. And again, they're not closing on these shooters.
Well, Martinez has chosen to practice his outside jump shot from about 15, 16 feet.
Barea to Arroyo. Arroyo hits the rim. Rebounded by Galindo. Over to Arroyo again. He drives, shoots in the crease, and he makes a shot.
A little floater that time.
So it's now a 26-point lead at the start of the second half. Arroyo now has 11 points and 5 of 8 shooting. Nice interception by Ricky Sanchez. Here comes Arroyo behind the back to the corner. Galindo open three. It's good. Open early offense.
Yeah, I like that. Pushing the ball. Galindo spotting up from behind the arc. Arroyo takes it right to the middle of the court like he should. And then we have Galindo on the left side. The catch and shoot. 3 points.
But I have to say, I think John Calipari is getting the hang of the FIBA game. Every time Puerto Rico gets into any rhythm, there's a Dominican timeout, and when they come back out, it's over.
Well, like I said, this is an education for Cal. He's a fine coach. He's done a terrific job there at Kentucky. Yes, he's had a lot of really talented players, but he's also taught him a few lessons about how to play basketball. And without a doubt, he is learning FIBA basketball. I mean, he was up and all over the officials last night, and he's learning the FIBA game. He mentioned to me that he's very surprised at how physical this game is, and it is. I mean, it is not at all like college basketball. I think it's even more physical than the NBA.
And I think the chance to perhaps take a team to the Olympics, he would have been, let me tell you, he takes this team to the Olympics, whether now, which he couldn't, or in July, they'll build a statue for him in Santo Domingo. I'm telling you, they've never been to the Olympics.
Cal would like that.
And yeah, he would. And then he'll have a chance to coach in the Olympics. He may not get that chance with the U.S. He may or may not. He will travel, no call. As Horford takes the ball, back over to Jack Michael Martinez. They are up 23. Flores.
Santiago
nice
comes
show.
out, steps out,
pass to
show,
Horford,
gets
drives
back.
right, and he's shoved by Sanchez. Ricky Sanchez now with his third personal foul. And Barea keeps arguing very demonstratively and not winning over any refs.
I think they're questioning who the foul was on. I mean, it was a foul.
They gave it to Sanchez, his third.
Yeah.
As Horford goes to the line.
Yeah, we've seen Horford shoot the outside jumper. Then this time he goes to the middle of the court with his right hand on the dribble. He's got the complete package. He's averaging 18.5 points a game. They're in the tournament. He has 15 tonight.
Flores picks up Arroyo. Flores playing in the Ukraine. As Arroyo attacks and takes it all the way to the cup. Breakdown on defense by the Dominican.
Well, Jack Michael Martinez just lets Arroyo go right by him. It's matador defense for Jack Michael on that play.
You were just missing the Olays, right?
Yeah.
Here comes Horford from the elbow.
Goes right.
cross-court pass, blocked and fouled by Galindo. And Puerto Rico's getting back into that game where everything they do and charged by the officials is an injustice. And that is part of the mental hardening that Flor Menendez wanted to give his team. And
well, they got to just play basketball.
Yeah, just play on. Play on. Know that you're not going to get the call.
They are not going to get calls. I mean, that's the nature of FIBA basketball. You're not going to get calls if you're used to the calls that are made in the U.S. Forget it.
And the appeal process, when players in the Puerto Rican League or in the NBA appeal to refs, they have a sense that they'll get the next one. It may not work in FIBA that way. You actually may not get the next one. Just the opposite. As Jack Michael scores, 24-point lead.
And he's got 12 to go with his 7 rebounds.
As we see Team Argentina watching now because we're basketball junkies. Barea, long three, rebounded by Santiago. Blocked by Garcia. It goes out of bounds. And Santiago just had to take that ball over the rim and stuff it.
Yeah, I mean, for a guy 7'1" with long arms.
Why bring it down?
Well, he brought it over his head. I mean, he's got to go up stronger. I mean, Garcia was blocked that from behind again, using his great timing. And there's the right hand move to the right.
Slapped by Martinez. It's a foul.
Yep.
In a shooting motion, he'll go to the line. Danny Santiago, born in Texas, grew up in Texas and in New Mexico. He's touching his right foot. That's not a good sign. Not a good sign. He spent 3 days of intense medical attention to get the sole of his right foot back in enough shape to get him to run the court. Right now, he's played 21 minutes.
He's got
Makes the second one.
He's got 10 points.
Okay, now, Puerto Rico down 22. They were down 28 at one point. Chipping away. Will they have time? Group leadership at stake in the last chance tournament as a horn goes off here, inadvertently, apparently, and Santiago blocks Garcia's shot. And look at Garcia's reaction. He doesn't agree with the play. He smiles. That's a way of saying to the ref, you're wrong, in a very elegant way, in a productive way.
And if I was the officials, I'd be concerned about that horn because I think it's obviously coming from someone in the stands.
No, I don't know. It's a foul now by Santiago and Jack Michael Martinez. I think it's the actual horn here just went off.
Interesting.
Yeah, what was surprising to me is nobody blinked, not even the officials.
Well, one official I think did come over.
Oh, he did?
To the scorer's table, and the scorer's table said no, or signaled no. And I guess then I questioned whether it was really a horn from the scorer's table or someone in the stands.
One of the interesting facets of this tournament is how many great players are without contracts looking for work, and this is one of them. And there are rumors here in Argentina that Pepe Sanchez's team in Bahia Blanca, Estudiantes, had just signed Jack Michael Martinez. They actually did sign Javier Mojica and Ricky Sanchez of Puerto Rico. Pepe told me that's not true, but it's interesting how Martinez is now being linked to a number of teams in a number of leagues. Everybody wants him. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, he's a monster on the boards, and
he'll get you points.
Yeah, defensively.
Arroyo back to Barea for the three. No good.
I mean, defensively, he leaves a little bit to be desired, but I'll tell you what, he'll rebound and he'll get you points, and he comes to play every night.
Foul on Luis Flores. It is his third. He's the only player from the Dominican Republic with 3 fouls, as that's the 4th team foul with 6:12 to go. Santiago
backing in, a little hook shot over the smaller Martinez.
Arroyo comes up with the offensive rebound. Back to Galindo for 3. It's in. Boy, he's a good shooter.
Yeah, he's a very good shooter.
And yet he would not be the starter if Danny Vasallo would be on this team. Strip of the ball and a reaction by Sanchez right in front of Mariño.
Yeah, I'd like to see Galindo get a few minutes at the shooting guard position. He's big for a shooting guard. He's what is he? He's 6'7". Go outside and shoot.
Angel Alamo comes in for the first time for Ricky Sanchez.
He's got some quickness, and you know, he's capable of running off those screens and getting open.
Ronald Ramon loses the ball. It's Puerto Rico's ball as Angel Alamo comes in. Ricky Sanchez out with 4 fouls. Inside to Santiago, stripped and fouled by Elias Baez.
Interesting play by Santiago that time. All he had to do was turn and go straight up with a little right-handed hook shot 2 feet from the basket. And what he did, he got the foul, but he really just jumped into Jack Michael Martinez to get the foul. He goes to the line and hits it.
Santiago has played for the last 2 years in the Puerto Rican League with Capitanes de Arecibo, the 2-time now defending champ, along with Andres Rodriguez. And he's now making a habit of playing in the European leagues, and when those leagues finish, he comes back to Puerto Rico to play. Played for many championship teams in many leagues.
Puerto Rico's going to a little zone press.
Yeah, they're down 19. The lead is down. Baez almost loses the ball. Back to Ramon.
Now they've now gone back to their man-to-man.
Alamo trying to guard Horford. He should take him in. Nice fake by Martinez. Over to Horford. Turnaround shot. Short. Rebounded by Baez and a foul by Alamo. Or Santiago. I'm not sure. It'll be Alamos. Holding. We heard Jerome Mincy at halftime yesterday, the general manager of the Quebradillas Piratas, say that Alamo is the kind of player who had talent, had a knee operation. Can you believe that he actually has lost his ability to jump?
No.
You can imagine how much he jumped if he's being described as a kid who lost something off his jump. He is a great leaper.
Yes, he is.
Great shot blocker, but he's not even where he was. And that injury was a bit of a wake-up call for a kid who had talent, had to go pro early because of family hardship, and now made the national team. They could not cut him. He was supposed to be in the team, the B team that plays in October in Guadalajara, Mexico for the Pan American Games. 20-point lead. Arroyo from the free throw line. In and out. Rebounded by Ramon. Here comes the Dominican Republic.
Good shot selection, though. I like it.
Lines up a 3 with only 6 seconds.
Yeah, but he's wide
off
open.
The clock.
Yeah, why not? He's wide open. There's no more than 8 feet of him.
In rhythm.
Yeah, dribbles down. Everybody for Puerto Rico just goes to the basket, retreats, and leaves him wide open. Take the shot. Here, look at
that was a pass, I hope. Alamo.
No, that wasn't
no
a pass.
Good. And a foul by Santiago holding Martinez. And that will be Santiago's 3rd foul.
JJ needs to take that shot from the foul line and put it in the scrapbook and save it. Because that was not a good shot. If you want to shoot it from about 8 feet, that little running floater, good, but not from 15.
Jack Michael Martinez to the line. So the question here from many fans in Argentina is, why isn't Jack Michael in the NBA?
Well, he's an undersized big guy. I mean, he's strong, and he's he's built, but
he doesn't have the greatest lift.
Yeah, right, and he's also 6'7", and as a power forward, it's pretty tough to play a power forward at 6'7". Go against guys 6'10", 6'11", who is just as strong. I mean, you look at Horford. Horford is 6'11", power forward.
The ball comes off the leg of Ulises Baez. Turnover for Dominican. Mujica and Holland back in the game. Galindo will take a seat along with.
For Jack Michael to go up against Horford, that's pretty tough matchup for him. Well, I must say that when you play Horford, it's a tough match for a lot of guys, but that just gives you an example there. I mean,
Santiago shoots again offline, and Alamo's the last one to touch the ball. And now they say it's the Puerto Rico's ball. I'd like to see that again. That looked to go off the fingers. Funny, Puerto Rico's that call. Here comes Arroyo.
Boy, Garcia is really overplaying Arroyo. Arroyo then just goes right inside.
Again, but finally makes the shot. That is his shot.
Yeah, that is. I
Pressure.
mean, he got great position. Now we can see full court pressure.
And a foul by Mojica. Tiki-tack foul on Ramon.
And we're going to walk 90 feet to the other end of the court.
Because Puerto Rico's over the limit. Actually, both teams are with 4:11 to go in the third. Trying to cut down a 23-point lead. They were down to 19. Now it's up to 22. And Ramon with a chance to make it even bigger. So Ronald Ramon goes to the Brazilian League, which is an interesting league, a league that's getting better and better, economically sounder and sounder. Brazil has teams with very big stadiums. They don't fill them up, but they have the capacity of bringing a lot of fans and therefore of having very strong teams economically. Concentrated mostly in the Sao Paulo area, with a few teams also concentrated in Rio de Janeiro. Alamo presents the ball, goes left, blocked by Baez, put back by Santiago, put back again by Santiago, can't finish. The ball's in Holland's hands, and it's good, and the foul.
And give Puerto Rico some credit for keeping that ball alive. Santiago keeps it alive.
Santiago was complaining, and he thought, as Esteves said, he was actually pointing at Eagles Baez, and now Baez saying, well, wait a minute, why me? That's his third. A chance for Holland, a youngster that plays at Boston University, whose maternal grandparents are from Puerto Rico.
And Horford checks back into the game. Neither team is doing a terrific job on the offensive boards. Dominican Republic has 3, and with that couple of tips that Santiago got, I mean, they got 5. So neither team is really crashing the offensive boards.
20-point game. Ramon stops, hounded by Holland. Alamo's guarding Horford. That's a matchup Horford likes. He sets up in his favorite spot.
And he posts up, and
Alamo fouls him.
Yeah, he really pins Alamo on his hip, and has got great post position. That's a set play where they bring Martinez out to the foul line and then post up Horford. As he gets great position, he gets the foul. He's going to the line. Chance for 2 more points.
And a timeout by Flor Melendez of Puerto Rico. His team is down 20 to the Dominican Republic. Group leadership in the repechage tournament at stake next July. I watched Flor Melendez play Puerto Rico. I watched many people. I mean, I own a left shooter. And Gale. Shooting was part of the game, but he really enjoyed getting back on defense. And it shows right now, but not tonight. Defensively, they're still at almost 70% shooting. The Dominicans are tonight.
There's no pressure.
Steady.
Yeah, there's no pressure. You know, you don't shoot 69% for the game and have a lot of pressure. Dominican Republic shooting 73 for three-point range, and this is not a good three-point shooting team. I mean, outside of Garcia, everybody else is really erratic, and they have not shot particularly well in this tournament. But they're making them tonight, and one of the reasons is no one's closing out on them. So this is a team that it's only shot 33% for the tournament.
As Horford makes the free throw, and the Argentine fans are warming up for our next game. Brazil, Argentina for the championship.
Well, there will be loud in here as it is now full. 8,500 strong, and of course they're all going to be rooting for Argentina.
Alamo comes off the screen, back to Arroyo, inside to Santiago, turns around left side, it's good. And now it's back to a 20-point game, 3:15 to go in the third. Santiago slowly piling up the stats, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block,
He traveled
16 points. Bad pass by Horford, picked up by Arroyo. Shakes and bakes, drives the lane, floats, shoots, misses. Rebounded by Garcia. Over to Flores. He drives, back out to Ramon. In and out, rebounded by Jack Michael. Wow, the master of positioning.
Yeah.
The master of the tip rebound. And the master of the easy putback, using the rim as his friend.
Well, he's got great timing in there and anticipation of where that ball's going, and he used it right there.
Mojica off the screen, no good. Grabs his own rebound, over to Arroyo. Back to Alamo for 3. It's good. Puerto Rico now is 19 points behind with 2:15 to go.
And Arroyo using the extra pass to the wide open Alamo. They make a couple of shots and they get back in this ball game a little bit. Here they go. Here goes Arroyo pushing it.
Oh, what a shot by Arroyo. And it goes in.
Oh my.
It goes in.
Yeah, he felt some contact and just threw it up there.
He doesn't have to go to church because that was a prayer.
Yes, it was.
And now a little dissension on the court. They want a tee for Flores. The Puerto Ricans are being warned graphically that they're going to be teed up. Marañas just spelling the letter T.
Well, there was contact. I mean, come on. That had to be a foul. I mean, if it's not a foul on the defender, it's a foul on Arroyo. For them not to make a call is pretty hard to understand, and I think that's what Melendez is, shall we say, debating about.
And Esteves is telling assistant coach Carlos Calcaño, I can still hear. Look, take the court. They crushed Puerto Rico. They did from the get-go. On their way to facing the Dominican Republic, beating the Dominican Republic in a tighter game than perhaps the score suggested as we look at Marquinhos and Alex, the captain, with a new haircut.
Yep, new haircut.
I mean Alex's. A nice mohawk.
That's a different look for Alex.
A little more aerodynamic. Maybe he's trying to get a little jump on the opponents.
I don't know. I mean, he gets out on the break and runs, and you know, he played almost 40 minutes last night, and he's a terrific defender. I suspect he and Manu Ginobili are going to go at it pretty good. And one of the officials is really upset. And
Pablo Esteves is talking face to face with
our
Morales.
Friend, yeah, our friend.
And Morales is just upset. You know how bulls in Spain, when they see a moving tape, just get angry?
Is that Carlos?
That's Carlos when he sees a referee. He just can't help it. Inside, outside to Garcia. Nice drive. Double team, though.
Oh, he got caught in there. Didn't know anywhere to go.
In the crease, a nice floater by Ronald Ramon, breaking down the Puerto Rican pressure coming off the timeout. Minute 35 to go.
Well, they broke the pressure and went right to the basket and challenged the defense.
Goes all the way in, and this time Martinez let him shoot.
Yeah, he really did. And we got a half-court press, zone press.
It's a 17-point game, and the Dominican is just fighting for time here. Minute 15 to go in the third.
And they have a zone.
Inside to Jack Michael, loses the handle. Ball's on the floor, being fought over. Arroyo had it for a second. Ball's loose. Over to the corner. Garcia drives, floats, and a goaltend by Santiago. And Maraña says it's worth 2 points. There's no question. I agree. Let's see.
We'll take a look at it. I don't think it is. I don't know.
It may have been on the way up.
I think it was on the way
Let's
up.
take a
It
look.
could go either way. Let's put it that way.
Go up,
I think
up,
it's
up.
It's pretty close. It is real close.
I thought it had reached the apex, but difficult call. It's a third foul now on Jack Michael Martinez. 3 for him, 3 for Baez, 3 for Flores. Puerto Rico has Ricky Sanchez on the bench with 4. Santiago with 3. Nobody else has 3 or 4 fouls. Danny Santiago keeps making free throws. He does not have a history of injury. He did have a history of a sore right foot. So the thinking in Puerto Rico is that this guy will last a few more years. Well, they've got Peter John Ramos and a couple of youngsters coming up as Mojica launches a 3. Doesn't even draw a rim. Saved by Arroyo, but into the hands of Garcia, who runs like a gazelle and misses the shot. Now comes Holland with the ball. Over to Arroyo for 3. Sets up. Misses. Rebounded by Jack Michael. It will belong to Puerto Rico with 39 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Well, we saw a little bit of life that time by Puerto Rico and also by the Dominican Republic.
Baez comes back in for
with
Flores.
The break.
Ronald Ramon, the only ball handler now for the Dominican, and it's an 18-point game. At the very least, Puerto Rico meant to make this outcome a little bit better as Holland gets clobbered by Baez.
Yeah,
nice fake.
Yeah, it would. Well, I thought we'd take a look at it there, but he good head fake with a ball fake, gets the defender up in the air, and then goes up and gets the foul. There it is, the good fake, and then completely out of position is.
He now leaves with 4 fouls, and back in comes Flores. That's hardly a breather. Barely had a chance to sit down. So Holland, foul, Ron in France next year, his first professional experience. Next.
He's young. Just, he's learning physical. Shoots the side shooting, but I like his quickness, and I like the way he plays hard and comes in. As Mojica
steals the ball, lays it in, and now it's a 14-point game.
Just
they halved the. Is on Jack Michael Martinez. An offensive
foul. Okay. Puerto Rico, they can get one shot here, get a good shot. They got a chance to close the gap and get back in the game, and we're starting to see a little bit of life with Puerto Rico, specifically on the defensive end with this zone press. Got it.
7 seconds to go. Time is Puerto Rico's end.
Oh, he's going to go right. Got to go all the way now.
Yeah. And lays it in, and he's fouled. See,
yeah,
Garcia's is
and everybody.
The blue sea opened up.
It sure did. It absolutely did.
Isolations in the FIBA game.
Well, yeah, they isolated at the center position, but that's what.
Normally a great free throw shooter makes the first. So far, he's only free throw in the tournament.
He's got 16 points.
82% of his free throws.
1.2 seconds to go.
Makes both. It's a 12-point game. Narvaez comes in for Santiago. He don't want him to foul. With a nice quarter to finish the quarter, outscoring the Dominican 39, and they're now down 12 with.
We'll look at some stats, and Puerto Rico starting to shoot a little bit better. They're up to 41% on twos. Still cannot buy too many baskets from three-point range. They've now got 9 assists. And Dominican Republic continues to shoot extremely well from the field, 62% from threes. They still have 15 assists. They have turned the ball over 11 times now. Republic. Neither team is getting out and running on the fast break. And points off a turnover. Puerto Rico there has now got up to 11 in points off turnovers. So that they've made a little run here. We'll see as we go back into the fourth quarter if they can continue to do that, and if they can narrow this down to maybe 6 points with 6 minutes to go. They've got a chance here, and now, because they're starting to get a little life, a little effort in here.
The Dominican is shooting in this last quarter. They've shot 7 of 11, which is fantastic. At the same rate they've shot all game long, but they had 6 turnovers in the first half. They had 5
in the quarter
alone.
Right,
and that's the key. I mean, once they shoot, these are good shots. I do get the impression. Not playing with that they did. Not playing with.
You got to remember, the Dominican Republic at the guard position is, it's adequate, but it's not one of their strengths. And I think that Puerto Rico came out and they're late in that quarter and put a little zone half-court press that maybe bothered Dominican Republic a little bit. I would venture to say that Dominican Republic will now maybe try to go back inside and utilize the strength of Holford.
Francisco Garcia inbounds to start the fourth quarter. Hall of Famer Gail Goodrich and Alvaro Martin joining you in the next to last game of the 2011 FIBA Americas Championships. 3 by Garcia.
And he answers to the zone there. We just gets the ball on the baseline, catch and shoot, which he likes to do. And now he starts to get a little pressure from Garcia.
Blocked by Garcia. That's the second block by Garcia on Santiago.
He's a fine defensive player. He really is. He's guarding Arroyo, and we're seeing him have the ability to guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out to Garcia for another 3, and he stepped on the line, no good. And Santiago grimaces after being hit in the mouth.
Garcia is starting to warm up. He says, I can shoot it from anywhere. I don't even have to be on the court.
Arroyo. Holland fights through screens. So does Mojica. No passes. Fakes the shot over to Alamo. He drives left, picks it up, back to Arroyo. 3-point shot. It's good. It's now an 11-point game with 8:47 to go.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
it's up to the lane.
They've turned the ball over again,
Santiago.
And they're looking and give the ball to Arroyo and go on up. Here, let's see if they can get something.
Arroyo against Francisco Garcia. They've had a nice friendly competition so far. Inside to Santiago. Quick decision by Santiago. Horford set up.
No, absolutely. And I like the
Right. Worth 3 a game. Here comes 3. Worth 1, but this
too
is
quick.
offline.
Yeah, too quick.
Rebounded by Horford, back to Garcia. Horford now with 9 rebounds and 17 points. Martinez with 17 points and 8 rebounds.
This is where he's real tough when he comes out, faces the bench. He to Santiago to track, and he stops, takes a little jumper, and just like that, we got another 14-point lead.
Arroyo loses the ball off his leg. Holland from the corner, nice shot. Loses the ball behind the backboard. So again, it's an 8-point game.
No, it's 12 points. No, it's
above free throw line. Flores tries to roll, but he can't with Horford. Corner shot by Bias. Steps back. In and out. Oh, what a rebound. Horford. What a line of box out by Puerto Rico. He came away from the right elbow. From the right elbow. Over to Horford. Step back shot. It's good. Santiago cannot close.
No, he
couldn't close against Gola. Cannot close against Horford.
No, he's just not quick enough. You know, he wants to stay back in that post area here. He's comfortable. He's not comfortable coming out away from the basket. A little pick and pop. It's there all night long. Horford gets the ball, squares up, shoot it, count it, and just like that. Santiago has 21 points. He's got bounty along with assists. Considering a few days ago he had his foot in the cast, he's playing a nice little ball game. Defensively, it's trouble for him to come out and guard a Al Horford type of guy. Horford has 21 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block.
As we take a look at John Calipari, Al Horford leading them in points and rebounds. Luis steals. Sid Garcia now has 2 blocks to lead the Dominican. They have 6 in total. Only 1 block for Puerto Rico. That was Danny Santiago's block. Horford, one of the finest players in this tournament, in my book, and Gale's, among the top 5 players in this tournament, easily. Builds the stat sheet. And it's just figuring out this FIBA competition. This is really his second tournament of this caliber. He played in San Juan in 2009. And now here in Mar del Plata, as we resume play, Ronaldo Balkman on the court for Puerto Rico. Ronaldo has seen very limited minutes right now. Only 5 so far. As we see Javier Mojica. Over to Arroyo, who loses the ball. It'll be the Dominicans. In the 4th. It's a 14-point game. Brought it down to 8. From all the way from 28. Santiago. He drives and he's stripped and fouled. Now the ball.
You can't reach in like that for Bachman. You know, Horford he's got great position. The defender is behind him. And Bachman, he just reaches in. He's undersized.
Would you rather let him shoot over you? I mean, he puts him in the line.
You gotta try to
let him shoot over you. I mean, he puts him in the line.
You gotta try to the top.
Would be a percentage possibility.
Well, you that kind of position in down low, you're beat. When he catches the ball, you're beat. Contest the pass and get up so he can't really make a good lob pass and can't really make a good defensive
off to Santiago. Garcia. Arroyo. Double team. I heard a whistle, but play goes on. Santiago hammered. Double team. Holland with a three. It's good. John Holland with a three. As Puerto Rico now gets the lead. Back to 16. Offensive foul.
Sure. He moved. Threw a hip out. I'm impressed with Francisco Garcia's quick release. He just needs a little bit of space and a little bit of, just split second, and he gets it off. This is the best that he had in this tournament. He's got 18 points, 4 for 5 from three-point range.
As Arroyo hands off to Holland, drives right-handed inside to Santiago. Tough shot and a foul by either Jack Michael Martinez or by Garcia. It is Garcia's. And for Francisco, it is his fourth foul. He buys and Martinez with fourth foul of fourth. Santiago makes the free throw. Chipping away, but always a reaction by the Dominican. He makes both. It's a 14-point game.
And we got
pressure.
Full court press here.
Other point guard. Garcia again from the same spot. Different result this time. Again, a horn. It sure sounds like very disturbing. Flores drives right over to Horford. Presents the ball inside to Jack Michael Martinez. He had Arroyo. Move. The move outside. It is good. Nice ball movement by the Dominican.
Yeah, it really was. Inside, then kicking it out to the weak side. And Ramon just spots up. That's 17 points for Ramon, his best game of the tournament.
Santiago, double team down low. Grabbed by Horford. Jump ball. Let's see whose ball will be. As we see Manuel Fortuna come back into the game for Francisco Garcia. Garcia leaves with 18 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 turnovers, and 2 spectacular blocks.
Yeah, he's had a very nice ball game. Like I said, his best game of the tournament.
Comes Flores. They call the play. Moan's going to drive. Hand. He just does not have the hop. He's got Galindo. Instead of taking it strong, just try to fake. Comes Arroyo on the right side. Over to Santiago. Over to Arroyo. Drives, shoots, and scores. Nice play with Martinez now with 4 fouls.
Yeah, and he did not want to go up and foul. Just raised his hands straight up. Arroyo goes right at him, lays it up.
And in. It's a 15-point game. 3.5 to go in regulation. A pass. And now it doesn't fake. It goes straight to the hoop.
Pretty unusual for a guy that plays the center position.
Another 3 by Holland, his second. And it's a 14-point game. 3:12 to go. But we're going to need to make some serious stops. As the Dominican now is just holding the ball.
Well, Horford's going to go one-on-one against Bachman. No,
and over to Fortuna.
Yep, sets
the slapped by Bachman.
And Bachman does, and the switch does not move his feet. Ramon goes completely by him, and then he reaches around. Not the way to play defense. Not the way to guard the screen and roll.
So Manuel Fortuna will go to the line. A youngster, made the team. Elpidio Manuel Fortuna Lara as he misses the first shot. He is 26 years old. His brother, Jose, plays in the league. He played for Leones de Santo Domingo, a 63% free throw shooter. Then he moved to Dosa in the La Vega League in the Dominican.
Missed them both.
Yeah. And for him, he's the first time with the national team at this point. Actually, no, he played last year in the Central American Caribbean Games as Santiago makes the back 12-point lead, 2.5 to go. Pressure from Puerto Rico.
Nice little assist for Arroyo. Flores spotting Santiago down low.
Ramon picked up by Holland, back to Horford. Santiago falls to the floor. Flores floats it in for the basket. Nice play by Luis Flores. Now at this point, at some point soon, the Dominican has to get Al Horford out of this game.
Yeah, I think so.
Arroyo scores.
He just goes right to the basket. Matador defense by Dominican Republic.
Foul by Holland, becoming an obstacle to the progress of the offensive player. Esteves calls a foul. Garcia in for Fortuna. Have you found
Coach
this?
Cal is not letting up here. I mean, he has got his starters in there.
He's giving them his money's worth.
He's got Horford, Martinez, Garcia, Flores, and Ramon. So he's got 4 of the 5 starters in the ball game. They're up, 12? Yep, 12 with a little under 2 minutes to go.
Horford, guarded by Bachman.
Screen
Ramon,
yep.
Pursued by Bachman. A steal by Galindo, 3 against 2. Galindo loses the handle, and Ramon picks up the ball. Over to Flores. Oh, my goodness. Coming the other way with numbers. But Garcia is not in a hurry. Puerto Rico is. With 1.5 minutes to go in regulation.
They set up, want to run the offense. High screen and roll. Horford comes away from it, goes all the way, kicks it out to Jack Michael.
Drives Santiago in. Tough shot. Into with a rebound. Quick early offense. He now picks up the inside to Santiago against Horford. Short. Rebounded by Horford. He keeps collecting them like postage stamps. He's got now 11 to accompany 23 points. The Argentines clopping the Dominicans. Santiago with a foul. That will be his 4th. And that will be Puerto Rico's 4th as a team. The Dominicans play a style that Argentines don't like, but their fans have won over the Argentine fans. They've adopted some of the Dominican chants, and they see a team that made an effort tonight. Nice pass down low, and Jack Michael Martinez finishes smartly. A 14-point game.
Yeah, 2-on-1 that time, the 2 bigs. Horford just taking it right at Santiago, then a little bounce pass.
And then the miss is a long 3.
Martinez down low, and I think that's going to do it. I think
that's the last possession of the game.
Yeah, they're just going to close it out. We go away with 3rd place, 103-89. With 3rd place, 103-89.
For the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico here in Mar del Plata, the Dominican Republic will end with a 3rd place, the highest finish for the Dominican Republic in a hemispheric tournament in its history. They failed to get 1 or 2, which would have been a pass to London, but they've made history. And now the question for them is, can they sustain the effort, and I mean this structural effort, to put together a fine team that only get better if they play together. For Puerto Rico, can they host the repechage tournament, the makeup tournament? Can they bring all of its missing figures, and can they be get a
look at some of the stats? Dominican Republic just shooting the eyes out, no pressure. Stats Puerto Rico just shooting out very slowly in the first quarter. Got down big, was down 22 game, and it was just all
Dominicans and Puerto Ricans, Caribbean brethren, even after their rivals. Jack Michael Martinez, as he always does, will lead the cheer. And now Puerto Ricans are joining Dominicans in the usual Dominican cheer at midcourt. And the Argentines are loving it as we take a look at the top scorers. Look at that. Both teams together.
Yeah.
What a show of sportsmanship. These are rivals, after all. You won't see Argentines and Brazilians doing this. And that's what Dominicans do. And they're now getting Puerto Ricans involved in the act. And look at Ronaldo Balkman.
They're having a lot of fun, and this is what sport is all about. Both teams sharing a moment.
And Jack Michael, I want to see Danny Santiago dance. That's who I want to see. Look at Arroyo. Come on. And now, Baez leading the charge. Doing their best in the shot impersonation. Look at that. You gotta love that. You gotta love that.
Yeah, absolutely, and the crowd loves it too. Tremendous ovation for both teams who have performed well here in this tournament.
Remember that when they meet again, what a great performance by both teams. A loaded Dominican team trying to figure out how to play together, and a Puerto Rican team missing stars trying to overachieve. They fell short, but they leave the court after a 103-89 Dominican victory that secures third place and a group leadership out of the four groups that are going to be playing in that tournament. Here's a replay of Jack Michael Martinez making each player dance through the gauntlet. Now Arroyo doing his thing. Remember, he's a reggaeton singer in Puerto Rico, a pop singer as well. And then, of course, sporting images of this game as well.
Yeah, and that is one of the few moments there for Argentina early. Arroyo, of course, goes right to the basket. Then Arroyo, of course, goes right to the basket. That was prayer, but it was really at the end.
They cut the lead to 8 from 28. They cut to 8 from 28, closes 8. And then threes by Francisco Garcia. And just an overall great shooting performance from behind the line. 11 of 18. Puerto Rico very slow in getting into this game. They spotted that 8-point lead. Very slow in getting into this game. They spotted that 8-point lead. Very slow in getting into this game. They spotted that 8-point lead. Very slow in getting into this game.
Puerto Rico just has not come with a great deal of intensity.
The Dominican Republic finishes as high as they've ever done, and they will look as well as Puerto Rico and Venezuela to qualify to the Olympics with a last chance qualifier in July. For Gail Cousins, this is Alvaro Martin. Join us for Brazil-Argentina next here in Mar del Plata.